You're never gonna run out of money again. If you go for cheap, you're gonna get cheap results. I've been making life-changing income every single year for the past 5 years. I'm sharing all my tips on what's helped me make $50,000 last month.
Welcome back to the channel. Hi if you're new here, hi if you're not. This former MLM leader is claiming to teach us how to never run out of money again. So if you're ready to get rich, I know I am, you're in the right place. Let's go ahead and jump right in.
One of our official series in celebration of making $50,000 last month for the very first time. I've never made this much money in my life, and I'm here to tell you it all and how I was able to do all of this. So today's series is going to be called How You're Never Going to Run Out of Money Again. Okay? Part one, let's get into it. So your attention must be on what you want, not on the lack of it. Let me explain. So when you are looking at the things that you want, like for example, you're looking at the house that you desire, or the car that passes by, or you pass by a Chanel store and you like the Chanel purse, what's the first thing that you're thinking of? Are you thinking of one, wow, that's such a nice house, that's such a nice car, that's such a nice purse, but I can never afford that. Like, that's impossible. I can never afford that. And then you start thinking of like why you can't afford it. Because I'm in debt, because I'm working a minimum wage job. I work so many hours, I can't even have an extra $1,000 at the end of the month to spoil myself. So you start going down this rabbit hole. Or number two, when you are looking at the house, when you are looking at the car that you want, the purse that you want, are you looking at that and be like, I'm going to afford this one day? That is going to be me. I want that. What can I do to start affording this? Are you number one or are you number two? You're probably number one. Majority of people are number one. I started off at number one. So if you keep saying, I can't afford this because this and this and this and this and that, you're not realizing that you are reliving the unpleasant experience that you've had with money. Now, what that does is it repels the things that you want in your life and the things that you desire away from you.
I just want to jump in quick before we finish this one. I have said this so many times on the channel by now. Part of what she's saying is true. There is, to a degree, a necessity for you as an individual to be able to picture yourself accomplishing something, but not for the reasons that she's saying. It's not because you're repelling certain things. Online, we tend to see a lot in the manifestation space specifically, this idea of vibrating at a certain energy. And the reason why you don't have certain things is because you're not vibrating at the right frequency. That's not what's happening here. Believing you are capable of achieving something or acquiring something allows you to open your mind to get creative with the possibility of how you're going to make that happen. That's something completely different. Positive mindset is one thing. Believing that because we have a positive mindset, things are just going to magically start happening for us. I do not subscribe.
Okay? Because you are consistently thinking of the lack. So how you're going to attract the things that you want in your life is by opening the door to the thought of possibilities that you can do that. If you're consistently saying that, oh, I can't afford this and this and this and that, there's a cap. You're not allowing yourself to be creative, to figure it out, to have a figure it out mentality. You're just simply just there accepting the way that your reality is. You are consistently reminding yourself of what you do not want. And as long as you are consistently aware of what you do not want, what you do want cannot come into your physical reality, and vice versa. If you are obsessively thinking of the things that you do want, the things that you desire will make its way to you.
Again, also not entirely true. I could have a really bad money mindset and think that I'm never going to be capable of making any additional money in my life, and making money is so hard and da 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 da. And I very well might wake up tomorrow to an inheritance that I didn't know I was going to get, or I might get a check from the government for some refund that I didn't know about. That has nothing to do with whether or not I believe making money is easy. Similarly, if I believe
making money is easy and it's so easy to become wealthy and I deserve to be wealthy,
just because I think those thoughts doesn't mean that they're actually going to come true. There are so many factors beyond our control, like luck and timing and things that none of these people ever want to address. They want to think that they are 100% control of the results that they have in their life so that they can sell you on this formula, when the reality is, again, yes, mindset plays a role, and it is important to focus on self-belief and believing that you are capable of the things that you want. But that belief alone is not going to magically change things for you. There's also a level of action that is required. And I just hate when they make this like so black and white.
if you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to be successful. And if you do believe in yourself, you're absolutely going to be successful.
Because I've seen cases of both people who have low self-confidence and are still successful, and people who really believe in themselves and end up going nowhere. It just, the oversimplification for me is just too much. And yes, this content was submitted through my scam reaction form, which is linked in the description of all of my videos. If you have content that you would like to see me react to here on the channel, you can submit it to the form there.
Part 2 of how you're never going to run out of money again, because I got you. I'm your ride or die.
If the sound is a little off, it's because she has music playing in the background and I had to edit out the sound, so it might distort her voice a little bit.
Remember, I'm here for you guys. So let's get into it. Start becoming a person of influence, also known as become a hot commodity to the marketplace. So let me tell you a little story. When I was a little girl, I quickly realized that there were two types of people in this world, okay? One, the person that makes $10 an hour, and then the second person that's making 1,000 times more than that person.
Didn't she just say in the last video that she had a bad money mindset and didn't think she was capable of making a ton of money, and now she's saying the opposite? So which story is it, lady?
And I always wondered, why? Why was this person settling for this amount of money and this person was just making a ton of money? And I quickly realized it's because they learned how to increase their value in the marketplace, which meant the price goes up. When you become a person of value, when you have influence, and when you are a hot commodity in the marketplace, you have trust and you have credibility. And in any successful business, when you have influence and when you are a person of value, it is easier for the person to listen to you. And I always talk about this. If you are able to have people listen to what you have to say, you won. You will never go out of business and you will never run out of sales. The sales will start pouring in, okay? Those 1,000+ days are going to start pouring in.
That's absolutely not true. I know many influencers with massive followings that have not effectively figured out how to monetize their platforms. And then you look at someone like me or friends of mine who have even smaller followings than me that make a full-time income creating content on the internet, for example. Your level of influence doesn't necessarily equate to you deserving to be paid a large amount of money. Just like every other get-rich-quick guru on the internet, she's neglecting the actual components of being financially successful, like skill set, your network, again, luck, timing, so many factors that are just beyond getting people to believe whatever it is you're saying and becoming a person of influence.
Because you have the skill set, you have the influence, and you have an impact on other people's behaviors, opinions, and choices that they make. The more influence that you have, the more valuable you become to the marketplace, also known as society, and also known as your targeted audience.
Ugh, this whole idea of like wanting to have influence and control over people, I think is something that we see so often, specifically in the coaching industry. And I know it comes up a lot in the Life Coach Snark subreddit, this idea of these people really wanting validation from strangers on the internet, but also this need to be perceived as someone important. And if I think even back to myself, when I wanted to be a life coach back in 2018, 2019, I remember really subscribing to the idea of like
being made for more, having a special message on my heart that I need to share with the world.
Meanwhile, now I look back and I'm like, Danielle, you were 26. What were you doing? What do you know? What wisdom do you have to share with the rest of the world? To me now, it seems almost immature to be having such a large desire to be looked up to by strangers on the internet. Like when I make content now, and I say this to those of you that watch my videos regularly, I don't want you to listen to everything I say and just believe it as truth. I want you to practice discernment, to think critically, to challenge me on my beliefs, and have a back and forth conversation about things that I say that you don't agree with. This concept of the way you're going to get really rich is to just become an influential person and get everyone to believe everything that you say is a very dangerous path to go down. And I think that's why we see so much conversation around the parallels between cults, coaching, MLMs. This woman's background is in MLM. All of these behaviors lead to an environment where you have one person dictating what is right and what is wrong. And all of these people who are typically in a vulnerable position looking for reprieve from whatever sort of suffering they're facing, taking whatever this person says as 100% truth, 100% fact, and not questioning it. And that is so, so dangerous. So to be knowingly wanting to essentially create an echo chamber, to me, red flag, especially when you're doing it in order to profit financially.
Is 7 ways to never run out of money again. Part 3, limit how accessible you are. Did you know access to your energy is a privilege? Did you know that your energy is one of a kind? You've worked way too damn hard to be giving it out for free. You've birthed this new version of yourself that's more consistent, that's more dedicated, that's more disciplined, that's more passionate, a lot stronger. You've put in the work to get this far. And you think anyone's just going to have access to that energy? Absolutely not. So if you have been working on yourself and you can feel the growth, do not sabotage. No wonder you're so tired at the end of your day. You come home and you don't even want to work on your dreams. Don't even want to build your dream life because you've been giving too many people access to this new version of you for free without having to earn it. You keep selling yourself short.
Okay, at first I was listening to this and I was like, you know what? I agree with her. I like to think that I have boundaries in terms of who I interact with, who I allow to have access to my time, that sort of thing. And I do think that's important for anyone, not just people that are trying to build a business or find a way to make money. I think that exercising boundaries and not wasting your time on people who don't treat you right or don't value your time, super important. However, I'm watching this keeping in mind, and this is just my assumption, allegedly, in my opinion, that her intention here, or what she's alluding to, is that people need to pay to have access to that. So if I am selling coaching, and again, we see this all the time in the coaching industry, this idea of like paying to access someone's energy. And so I think this is why we end up seeing people charging absurd prices for like 30-minute calls or 1-hour calls to be able to access my insight. And while I don't think everyone should just be giving away free stuff all the time and like letting people hop on hour-long calls and vent to them about their business and then expect you to give them business advice for free, I do think people need to be paid for their time. I'm just under the impression that through her making this statement, it's so that she can justify charging absurd amounts of money for her services later down the road. And I could be wrong. Again, I'm just making an assumption here. I just kind of find it interesting to think about something like boundaries, which are, yes, important, can then be used to justify why you're putting absolutely everything behind a paywall later down the road. So we'll see. I might be wrong, but that's just my guess.
Okay, guys, here's 7 ways on how you're never going to run out of money again because I got you. I've been making life-changing income every single year for the past 5 years. And last month, I hit my biggest accomplishment in finances and made $50,000 in just 1 month. So this is what helped me, and I'm going to help you guys. Okay, this is part 4. I took something overcomplicating and I simplified it. You need to start simplifying everything, simplifying the content, simplifying your message, simplifying the system, simplifying the method, the guidance, the journey, simplify everything. This is a skill, okay? I don't know why, but human beings love to overcomplicate everything. We just love to word vomit, especially when we're excited about an opportunity or something that is going to help change our lives. We got to kind of compose ourselves and just relax and think of what it took for you to jumpstart your success and for you to start your journey to financial freedom. So for me, the reason why I learned to simplify everything is because that's what got me started. Okay. When somebody brought me a business opportunity, they did a very good job with simplifying it. And what did that do? That made me think like, wow, it's that simple? Yes, of course I can do that. Why wouldn't I be able to do that? And that's the truth. It really is that simple. It's just we love to overcomplicate the process. You don't have to know everything in order for you to jumpstart your success.
I don't have much commentary on that one. That one felt like a lot of word salad if we're keeping in mind that this is a series on how to never run out of money again. And the only advice from that was
Don't oversimplify it. Make things easy.
make what easy? What are we talking about? I don't even know what the point of this video was. It's almost as if she was like,
I'm gonna make a 7-part series, and I only have 3 video ideas, so I'm just gonna throw in random shit and make content for the sake of making content.
girl, we can tell. This video made no sense.
All right, here's 7 ways on how you're never going to run out of money again. Part 5. Nothing in life is for free. Please understand. So if you're always the one that's looking for a cheap way out, if you go for cheap, you're going to get cheap results. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to stop making money more important than you. The reason why people are so scared to invest in themselves or scared to pay for certain things that's going to elevate them is because they put more importance on money than they do on themselves.
Not true. I think that the reason why people are afraid to invest in themselves is A, because it sounds too good to be true, but B, because they actually are putting themselves first and they have another use for that money that's not some shitty online program. In fact, I would argue that the opposite of this is true, and that if some coach is telling me,
Pay me $5,000 and I'm going to teach you how to get rich.
and I think I'm actually going to use that $5,000 to buy my groceries, pay my rent, take care of myself, I'm prioritizing myself over maybe having to take out a loan for that $5,000 in addition to paying for all those expenses that I already have to pay and putting myself in a worse off financial position. In that case, where I'm making that investment, unsure of whether or not it's actually a good one, I'm actually not looking out for myself because now my future self has to pay off this $5,000 of debt that I've accumulated. So very, very, very manipulative, in my opinion, to be saying these words.
Start telling yourself that you are more valuable than money, because when you start believing that you are more valuable than money, then you start to be more confident in what you are investing. You won't be scared to pay for certain things. You start to believe that, okay, if I invest in this course or in this service or in this product, if I invest into this information, you will be detached with how much you spend on this investment.
This is so manipulative. Oh my God, I want to throw up. Again, tale as old as time. You are essentially encouraging people to bypass their ability to think critically using things like guilt and fear and shame to suggest that if I neglect to invest in your program, then I must not be that serious about my own success and I must not care about myself and I must not value my own potential. Which is bullshit, because what do I say on this channel in almost every single one of my videos? What does this person have to gain from getting me to believe that what she is saying is true? Newsflash, it's all my money. She wants my money, so she wants me to believe that investing in myself, aka buying her program or whatever the heck she's selling, we'll get into that later, is going to be my secret to success. It's creating an unnecessary amount of pressure for me to buy, and I freaking hate it here.
Because you know it's going to elevate you and it's going to make you increase your value as a person. Talked about this in part 2. Sometimes we have to invest in ourselves in order to help us increase our value in the marketplace, increase our knowledge so that we can elevate those skills that are high value. Stop putting more importance on money and start putting more importance on yourself. Start believing in yourself. Start having confidence in yourself and your ability, because when you start believing in yourself and you start being confident in your abilities, whatever you invest in, it's not going to matter, because you believe that whatever information that you purchase, you are confident in your abilities to execute and apply on whatever you've learned from that investment.
Yeah, but if the investment that I'm making is complete trash, how many times have we seen fluffy coaching programs with shit you could have just found on Google for free? I would have been much better off investing my time in going to Google myself than giving a grifter $500, $1,000, $5,000 of my own money, right? Yes, you need to invest in yourself to be successful, but a lot of that times that's not monetary investment. It's investing in time to network with people, time to research things on your own, time to use trial and error to figure out what does or doesn't work. This idea that investing is the only shortcut to success is completely misleading and totally untrue. Oh my God, guys, I'm getting really angry. I'm very sorry if I'm coming off super aggressive, but I'm just so upset.
Okay, here's how you're going to never run out of money again, part 6. And this is a little tough love one, okay? So be prepared. And I hope you receive this with love. This is for you if you're literally sick and tired of your own BS. And maybe you're going through challenges, heartache, heartbreak, you're broken and you're questioning your life, but you know deep down you have this burning desire, and you know for a fact you can do more with your life. These are the people that I'm talking to. There's 6 months left until 2024 ends. Still not fulfilled with the things that you have in your life, struggling a lot, suffering a lot, then you need to start opening up your mind to new possibilities.
Okay, how is this different from day one? I thought day one we were opening our mind to new possibilities.
We were believing that we were capable of whatever we wanted so we could vibrate on the frequency that's going to attract the things we want.
Again, it feels like to me, she was like, I need to make a 7-part series. And then she just started filling it with stuff, even though she only had 3 days worth of content.
It is the easiest time to make money online, to make money while you're sleeping, make money while you're with your kid, to make money while you're traveling, while you're at home. But the reason why that'll never be your reality is because of these 3 things. One, you don't have a disciplined mindset. It takes discipline to make money. I'm going to get into that shortly. Number 2, when you are first starting out as an entrepreneur, you need to start making money in some sort of way. That's why I'll never bash a 9 to 5, because you need to start somewhere. But don't let that be your end all be all. There is a bigger picture. Remember that.
I will give her credit for encouraging people to get a 9 to 5 while they build their thing. I will say that a lot of these grifters don't do that. And so I give credit where credit is due. And if you want to start a business, I highly recommend you start that business while you're still working. So I'll let her have that one.
Now, once you start having a job, start having a little bit of money, here's where people continue to stay stuck in the rat race, in the matrix, in the trap, like how I like to call it. Our mind has been programmed to consume. We are a bunch of consumers, if that's even a word. Because now that you have a little bit of money, this is where you cannot trust yourself. And this is where you have to be extremely disciplined and intentional, because all you're going to want to do is spend your money. We love to spend money. I love to spend money. And I work on this every single day to be as disciplined as possible so that I can make my money work for me.
This is actually like a really weird assumption. I guess she's really trying to speak to a specific person, but I do not resonate personally with this desire to like spend all my money. In fact, I have the opposite problem where I feel really guilty spending money, and so I hoard my money. This could just be a me thing, but I don't resonate with that at all. And so I find it kind of funny that she's making that assumption.
It's okay to spend, but make sure you are spending on things that are growing in value, that are helping you grow, that are helping you get closer to your values, to your desires. Remember.
Okay, let me give you some suggestions on things you can invest in order to grow. The S&P 500. Take the money you are going to pay this scammer and invest it into ETFs and get a 10% return on average. If you were to invest $10,000 today and never add another cent with a 10% return over 30 years, you would have $175,000 in 30 years. So I'm just saying, if we want to talk about investing, that would be my suggestion. No, this is not financial advice. Please don't sue me.
Remember, that's what's going to get you to the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture? Time freedom, financial freedom. That's why you guys are all here. Trading your time for money is not going to get you closer to those desires. And we know this. So how do we get out of this? This is where the discipline mindset comes in. Now that you have the money, next time you want to buy something that doesn't increase in value, like shoes, a whole bunch of makeup from Sephora that you don't really need, I want you to ask yourself, is this going to help me get out of trading my time for money? If I paid for this item, will I still have to go back to work and trade 16 hours, 9 hours a day to make more?
Again, coming back to this idea of, she's making the assumption that we're all over consumers and the reason why we don't have any money is because we spend it all. I actually think in this economy, and I'm sure some of you in the comments can back me up, the reason why people don't have money is because wages have not kept up with inflation. And so cost of living continues to rise and our wages stay the same. And so yes, while I absolutely advocate for people finding multiple streams of revenue, finding creative ways to make extra money, I don't think that spending our money on useless is the problem for the majority of people. I genuinely think that it's basic needs people can barely afford. So again, this whole video is just coming off as kind of like out of touch with what the reality is for the majority of the population.
That's a yes. That's where you need to be disciplined. Instead, take that earned money and figure out how to make that money work for you. Overall time freedom. For me, I've become extremely disciplined with what I spend my money on. And I used to be that girl who would just, it was bad.
But now I understood that every time I spend my money on things that are going to help me get closer to making money in my sleep, going on trips, spoiling my parents, spending more time with them, and only having to work 2 to 3 times a day.
Sorry, what does that mean to only work 2 to 3 times per day? I'm assuming she misspoke, but
I learned when I did that and I invested more money into my business to have that be a reality for me. That's when I understood and I got the excitement to spend my money on things that grow in value because I wanted more time freedom. So like I said, it's okay to have a job, but it's what you do with that money that's going to make such a difference for your future.
that's a privilege to have extra money to be able to invest in things that allow you time freedom. A lot of people are barely getting by here, honey. You're speaking to the wrong people. I would assume that most of the people that fall for these like get rich quick schemes are people that are not in great financial positions that are trying to find a way out of their suffering. And so it's not
Bad decision making.
that's keeping them broke, it's that they don't have enough money to begin with.
So are you going to continue being a consumer, finally free yourself from the rat race and actually start being disciplined and earning back your time and having that time freedom?
Final part 7. I don't feel any richer yet. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments. Let's see what she has to say.
Okay, here's the last part on how you're never going to run out of money. I'm sharing all my tips on what's helped me make $50,000 last month, and I'm here to share it. Number one question I get asked is, what do you do? What is this? How does it work? And if people are not understanding what this is, and people are seeing a lot of people make a lot of money, they're going to think it's too good to be true. So here's a breakdown.
Okay, so my assumption is this video is actually just going to be her pitching whatever it is she's selling. So buckle up.
Pretty much, I've learned all about digital marketing. I've learned about digital marketing in 1 week in terms of how to set up my automated system, how to automate my business so that I can start making that passive income, that money in my sleep. So I took a course, I paid for it, I invested into my knowledge, like I spoke about in part, whichever, because I believe that if I execute on this information, I know that it's going to bless me in my life. I then created a course, which is UBC, with the help of so many other creators. And I created this course to focus on the most important skills that you have to have in business, which is branding and marketing. This course is $4.99, one time, no hidden fees, lifetime access. What UBC is going to teach you is how to automate your business. This is what's going to help you make money in your sleep, such as email automation, setting up your funnels. And also, you don't have to build your funnel from scratch. We have done for you funnels that you just plug and play and you customize it. You can literally have this business set up within 48 hours and you can start earning an income.
Okay, so the digital marketing UBC thing that she's talking about is part of Master Resell Rights. I have a 3-part series on Master Resell Rights. You can click here to watch it. I also have another video coming out next week where we're going to continue to talk about it. But long story short, quick summary, it's basically you buy a $500 course and then you have the rights to resell that course over and over and over again. I have seen very few, I don't think actually any, cases in which someone has taken these courses and then built a business outside of reselling courses. But typically the model is I buy this course, I become a course reseller, I recruit you, you also become a course reseller, and everyone's just selling the same handful of online courses.
Second thing that it teaches you is how to build an infectious brand. This is what the course is mainly focused towards, because you can have all your automated systems set up, but if you don't have skills to attract your targeted audience to you, then you're not making any money in your sleep. Third thing that it has, which is my favorite thing, is if you don't have a product to sell, then you can sell this course. So you purchase it, you own it, you have the resell rights to it. You can now go and resell it to whoever you want and make $500 every single time.
And that's my issue with Master Resell Rights, is that the focus is on reselling the course versus the actual contents of the course. I have no problem with people creating and selling online courses, provided that you're actually teaching something tangible at the end. So she's claiming that they'll teach you, how to create an infectious brand, how to build a business that runs on automation. But the ultimate goal then is to use those skills to just resell this course. You're not using those skills to create your own product and your own value add. We're all just reselling the same freaking thing. And that's the part that I really hate about it. There's no additional value being added to the economy. We're all just selling each other on the idea that we have a course that's going to teach you how to get rich.
You sell it and you didn't even have to create the course. This is why I always talk about working smarter, not harder. And so many people are starting to understand this logic and are having success because they get it. The average person finally gets it. So that's pretty much how you're never going to run out of money again. I hope you guys like the series. Love you guys.
So it was basically a 7-part series leading up to a pitch to buy her online course. Are we surprised? I'm not surprised. So her bio on TikTok reads the #1 business model to start making money online as a beginner. But then if you click her link in bio, it just takes you to like an automated chatbot. So I can't even get to her website or anything. Okay, so I found her Instagram, and her Instagram says founder of UBC, which is the one she was talking about in the video series. Mentor to 49,000 students. I'll help you attract what you want. Click for more info. And this links to her Stan store. So hopefully there's actually information here. Okay, so quick look through her website. She sells UBC, which is the course she talked about in that video series. And it basically just looks like an MRR course. So there's website templates, videos, you get live calls, lifetime access, all sorts of different things. It's the same as any other MRR course that I've seen, it looks like. I don't know, perhaps we could look at UBC specifically in another video if that's of interest to people. I mostly just wanted to focus on her How to Get Rich series because, as we know, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And this is yet another example of someone just selling you on the idea that because they were able to sell other people on the idea of being rich, you could sell that same idea to someone else so that you're also gonna get rich. I'm sick of it. I hate it here, guys. Thank you so much to whoever submitted this to the reaction form. Again, that is linked in the description of every single one of my videos. If there's content you want me to react to, shout out to our channel VIP members before we hop off here, as well as Suzanne, Harrison, and Tom in the billionaire tier. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna leave you on screen here with this video that YouTube thinks you're gonna like. So give it a watch if you haven't seen it already. Take care, comb your hair, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!